back on the hood. I'm back to the tablet so I can keep an eye on. I'll keep an eye on this and make sure I don't go to 2 hours this time. Now I'm up to now. I'm just up to now clearing all the hull out. But what I'll do is I'll just show you a couple of alterations I've made. One is the stern. On the HMS Hood Association website, they say that it's a good idea to drill out the rear anchor, the stern anchor hole. I found an old anchor, so that in the book, Anatomy of a Ship, it actually shows you the anchor sitting there like that. Although that one's probably out of, but it's only on a bit of footage, a bit of a thing. If I can get that close enough, you can now see I've drilled out the hole for what would be the stern anchor. I don't think it was there come 1940s. I think it was by the midsection. And the other thing I've done now, very carefully, is I've now removed the two strips that represented the furrings, and I've replaced them with the photo H ones. Now they're only held in with a bit of glue tack. Only sat there, they won't be actually glued into position until the very end. So these are the anchor furrings, and as you can see, it makes a heck of a difference to the model. So let's take them off now. We don't need them anymore now until they will actually be put on until we come up to near painting it. So we'll keep them to one side now. They were originally done with loads of photo etch. Slivers of photo etch. You may have seen it in one of the previous videos. It was just too much. I just could not be bothered with it. So in the end, I used little tiny bits of plastic rod. So we're actually up to now, we're going to be, I can't see that because I've got my glasses on. We're going to be, well, all this now needs sanding down and tidying up. The stern all needs tidying up, so we'll start doing that now. The portholes all need drilling out. They're not very good, you know. I suppose they were supposed to be. I've seen pictures of Hood and they don't look like they're all round portholes. Now they do have a very small, tiny detail above the top of them, which is called a rig hole, I think, a rig hole. These ones don't. These ones don't either. So for some reason, Trumpeter decided the stern ones can have this rig hole, or whatever they call it, over the top of them. Now the HMS Hood website recommends that you do something about them. Put some in. Now what I've got in the MK1 design kit is this. These look like porthole covers to me. Now they didn't exist on the. Now you see, now that's got little rig holes over the top of them. I hadn't noticed that before. It's actually got them on top of them. With the actual portholes, I'm trying to see if there's any detail in there. That'd be a good idea to have them removed. Okay, so it's got the rig hole in it. Okay, so these ones at the bottom are probably how they would be closed. But certainly the portholes themselves were flat against the hull. They didn't have this detail in them. So I might be able to take, be a heck of a job to do it, but I might be able to take these and And very carefully, so they do fit on there. So they do fit on there. But certainly the portal, but certainly it didn't have portal covers on. And this has got what they call these, I think it's rigoles if I'm pronouncing that right. These have certainly got it. I've got to be really, really careful. There's a chance I might be able to cut them out. Or even cut the little thing in half, turn it upside down and use that. They're so tiny that it's impossible to see. See, this has got them on the top of each portal, so that is very slightly ridged up. So I might be able to do that. I might be able to take these and take them rigoles, or rigoles, whatever you want to call them. So I might be able to do that. So our first job, it's all about preparation now really. There's not really a lot to see, we've just got to sand all this down now. It's just a case of getting all this cleaned up, getting all these portholes, the different sizes, getting them drilled out. I probably won't sand this ridge down like it's suggested. We've got the propeller bits in place, which I did in the last video. And the trouble with doing this on the tablet is that once I put it up on the thing to put it on YouTube, it takes hours. I mean hours to download. No idea why. But what we've got to do now is this is just a very, very patient job now. Because you don't want to scratch this obviously. So it's just a patient job of just, this is a very fine, and it's getting all the little scratches out anyway. You've got little scratches all over the hull here. I haven't put them on, I mean I've not done that. So this, because I don't scratch it too much. So this will do this. But this is going to be a very, very long-winded job. Because this has to come down flat. For the degaussing cable to go on. So I won't bore you too much with this. Because I like to listen to a bit of music while I'm doing this. But what happens then is I put the video onto YouTube and it stops it playing because you're not allowed, because it's copyright. I get a message back saying your video cannot have it. It cuts all the sound out. It turns out it's because I'm playing music and it's copyrighted obviously. I've not got permission to play it. I've done that. That's coming out really nice now. That's coming out really nice. This is a nice little one. See, the beauty of these is you can clean them up. So that's coming out really nice. Now that's taken quite a bit just to do that. And then what we need to do is get a little bit of water. Bear with me. Let me get a bit of water, because I water. Could be you doing it. Hello Daisy. Fast asleep, are you? Don't care that dog. Now you see I've got some sanding sticks there with some wet and dry on. I've always got some wet and dry. So now what we need to do, once we've got a section done like that, and now I've lost where I was up to now. Which bit was I doing? That bit there, wasn't it? That would teach me to go away. Right, now what we need now is a bit of wet and dry. Oh, I have 2 lots of wet and dry. We need a bit of wet and dry, a bit of water on that, and we just need to put that in. And that is now coming up quite well. It's not doing too bad that. And this will be, like I say, this will be level for the degousing. The doors and stick to go on. So that's not looking too bad now. And I want to leave there's a little tiny line there where the bit came off. Ideally I want to leave that because that will give me a guide for where the cable is going to run along. So this is just a case of just being really patient. And I'm being patient because that's that little bit done. And that's taking all that time. So that's taken all that time just to do that little bit. But now you can see that now it's beginning to pick that up, so that's beginning to get quite nice. Now we need to do the same along this top bit. Ideally, we've got a ridge runner down here. That's too hard. Hopefully we'll scratch it. But we've got a ridge runs down there. Now this is another bit which ideally needs to come off. That needs to flatten down, so that's okay, that comes out quite a lot. So that takes the little ridge off. And the ridge going across where they're doing the hole. Scratched it a bit, but you're not going to see this once again, a bit of water on there. I can actually just use a pretty proper wet and dry now. Right, so that's cleaning that up just nicely. That's now a bit of water on that. So that is now coming across a little. Even that joint going across the top there where they're drilling the hole together is now coming up and disappearing. So this needs to be done all over the hole now. It's just wet and dry it everywhere. For 2 reasons. One, it takes off it takes the hole to a decent stage. But more importantly, what it does is it takes the film of plastic off. Not super important, but the film of plastic, once it's off, will allow it to be painted better. It will allow the paint to adhere better, rather than being on a film, on a plastic film sort of thing. So that's not come out too bad. So this is just a matter, like I say, I'll stop this in a minute. This is 20 minutes, give or take now. So what I'll do is I'll stop this in a minute and then I'll just carry on with it. And then let's have a look at the cleaner rag really. Right, so now you can see that, you see the difference in that now already. So that now, if you can see it, the light's not brilliant I'm afraid. But now the ridge which is running down here and the line which is going across here, it's now gone, that's now nice and flat. Right, that's lovely and flat. I could put a bit of wet and dry around this to be fair. I might just do that. And then I'll be able to do that right down the system. Let's see what I've got. I've got plenty of wet and dry. I can't undo that because it's tightened up too hard. ideal thing to use wet and dry on, but it might help it a bit more. So I'm just undoing the fins. So this is all about now. I don't have any paint. I don't have any paint at the moment. I've got an undercoat for it. Well, not undercoat, but no, I'll get rid of that. Let's have a look. I've got same size book of looks. Right, now see if it doesn't fit the whole thing, it will splash it. Right, now that's a bugger, isn't it? Right, it's not going to go over. Oh, what a pity. It's all the same size. I don't think I've cut this bit down. No, I haven't. It needs to be like that. Go there. And there, but then that will leave this bit. Just wet and dry, just with that little bit more. What's in it? I would have been able to have done that. So I think that. I don't know, might do. Let's have a look. Stir that across there. Right, now. Let's put that across there. Put this back. Oh, bless me! That's the dust from sanding. This is probably where, when you're doing a big hole like this, you should probably have a face mask on. Which I had loads of course, when we had the, what's the name? I haven't got any now. So a bit of water on there. Okay, do it a bit better, that's fine. And as I say, the beauty of this is, this will also, I'll just clean the hull up. As I say, it will remove that top film with plastic, which stops the paint adhering properly. You can see all that coming off in the wet and dry. You can see how it's coming off there. Obviously, don't want to take too much off, we'll reduce the hull size. Not too bad, I don't think. Now, let me see if I've got so that's, oh, there you go. Now that is now looking, that's looking really nice now. It's lovely and smooth. It's taken off that bit. I don't know if you can actually see that better. It's probably got one light on it too much, hasn't it? Trouble is, I haven't got much light in this room. So that now, I always mix myself up with where I'm going. But that now looks quite neat. You just see it's still got it slightly there, it just needs a little bit more coming off. And that's coming down now. So that's coming off, so that'll do just nicely. So let's reduce that off. The ridge is now gone anyway. So I don't think I want to do too much to that. So I'm not going to bore you now with all this because this is just going to be all a case of sanding and filing and maybe drilling at some point the holes to come out for the thing. If you remember yesterday I was doing this funnel. It started coming apart, so I've added some bits to the funnel. But I've still got to get this so that it's the same size as the other funnel. So at the moment I put a white strip on the plastic. I've got to make sure that I get this in the right order so that it actually marries up. That's going to go on there. That's going to eventually go there. And that's broken the strip off anyway. So I'm not bothered about this. It was a good idea at the time. I might play with it later on at some point. But let's probably stick with the resin panel. Okay, I mean, I can mess about with it. I'll see about this about with it. Now this is stuff that doesn't do anything anymore. That's just a very rough guide. So I'm going to carry on with all this sanding and what have you. Drill out the portholes. See about adding these bits over the top of the portholes. Portholes are weird at the front there, because this bit here needs to come down here. See, it needs this white bit there, there's a bit there that needs to pile off. So that needs to pile down. Probably not go that view. It needs to pile down. So that's fine, and there's another bit there. And the bridge goes all the way down. This is the only way you would obviously join the hull up together. I mean, this is a bit stronger than the old. I wouldn't do this on the side because it's not really scratching it too much, obviously. But now let's have a look. Let's put some water on there. Water on there. And a bit of, once again, a bit of sanding, a bit of wet and dry. And right along the straight edge of the hole. So this is coming out just fine. Once again, just keep going. Plenty of water on there. And this will of course make it, as I say, a lot easier for painting because the film of plastic will be off. It's not much of a film, obviously, it's only, I don't know, half a millimetre, 1/10 of a millimetre. So it's not much of a film, but it's enough to sort of make them, it's enough for the paint to not soak in, sort of thing. And you do need the paint to soak in. So this is doing just fine. At some point I'll get down onto the sides here. I don't want to take too much off the sides, but as again, I want to take enough off to get that film off. Just want to take enough off so that I've got what is basically bare plastic. So that's not doing too right. You can see that now. That's doing quite good now. That's nice and smooth. That's lovely and smooth compared to that there. That could do with just a little bit more coming off. Of course, it's not super important for this because at the end of the day, once the model is displayed, dependent on the display method, you're obviously not going to see this one. It's going to be at the bottom, obviously. So let's put a bit more on there. This is just strong, wet and dry here. So there's still a bit there. So it's just a case, I can see I can see the little imperfections in that. I can see the little bit where it's sticking up, hence the reason I'm spending so much time wet and drying it. So I can see that, and I can see what difference this is making. Can't really pick that up on the camera. See, I haven't done that bit yet, so you can see that is all untidy. But this now, especially that front bit, now is looking quite decent now. Put a bit of water on that. Don't want to take too much plastic off, of course, or you'll reduce how the ship looks. But now, me saying I'm going to stop and then I'll just concentrate on doing this. And you have to, if you fancy putting a comment in and saying, no, that's boring, don't do any more of that. Don't put such a long video up any more of that. And feel free to. I won't be offended much. So that's not too bad, that. And now what I'll do is that's flat. That's lovely and flat now. If I turn that light off, you might be able to see it a bit better. Right, now that's lovely and flat now. I don't think. So you can see the ridge down here. You see where I've not wet and dried that. You can still see a little bit there. You still see it raised up, but that's only because of how it looks. When you look along the top of the hull, you can just see a little bit, so it still needs a little bit going. Still need to get a little bit off there. Still need to bring that down. But not by miles. And you'll never sand through this hull, of course. So there's no chance of that, it's too big. Way too big a hole. But this is just a case of constant. We're at 20, I can't see without my glasses, 27 minutes. So this will be a bit better than the 2-hour video I did the other day. I'm trying not to keep this to 2 hours. So the thing is, I did say in the last video as well, and one of the other ones, I spent so long building the Titanic and the Queen Mary, nearly 3 years. I figured, right, well, you need to have a bit of a break. And I promised myself a week's holiday. Well, I know I'm tired, so I'm always on holiday. But I promised myself a break from the model. Because if you take into account that before I did some wooden models, what I'll do is in a minute, before I close this camera down, I'll take you through into the living room where I've got the models displayed, and I'll show you some of the models I've built. I've been building them like since I retired for 4 or 5 years, so it's been quite a bit of model building. And I thought, right, well, I need to have a rest, because you need to just, so you don't get too sort of, well, not bored, but you don't get to a point where you're making silly little mistakes. And it's easy to do that because you've been building for so long. You just need to figure out. I mean, I won't go away on holiday, you can't afford it. I've got a state pension. And it's, and the dog's not good at travelling, unfortunately. If the dog was good at travelling, I'd take her down to Cornwall. But unfortunately, she won't last on a bus. She certainly won't do a 2-hour journey on a train. Which is a real shame. And I did look into taking her out and then doing the breaking the journey down. That ended up being so expensive. You just couldn't do it. So anyway, I'm gabbing away here. I'm going straight off track as I always do. I'm always talking about something and then I stop and I'm doing something else. That's looking even better now. Now even that, you can probably pick that up a bit better now. Even that bit with the, even that ridge now, you can see that's disappeared completely. Even where you could see that little bump in it, it's gone. It's gone all the way down to the bow, as you can see. This will now be, I'll wash that down with soap and water. But you can see the difference now. I don't know if you can tell it from here. I can tell it, but you can see where I've not done it. It's not flat. You don't want it to be totally flat, by the way, because it goes into a little bit like that and a little bit there. But that's now nice and flat. And you can see the difference from here. I can plainly see the difference in the plastic there. I mean, even with the light picking it up, you can see where I've now sanded that down. It stops about there, so there's where I was up to. And you can see what I've done to that hole down to there. Just watch what I'm doing, because I keep moving this hole back and I'm liable to smash it through a window. So a little bit needs doing there. But for the better part, that is not too bad. And a little bit there. I just need a bit taken off down there. And then that's fine. Like that now. It's going to look a lot better. It's going to look, what you see is, as I've now gone right off track, and as I was saying, I was going to have a holiday. I said, right, I'm going to give myself a holiday because I spent over 2 years building models now. And then I decided, nah, I enjoy doing these models so much. So right, the bow there is looking a bit, well, it's not looking out of place. And the beauty of this is paint is going to adhere to this now. Because you've got now, obviously the plastic has this, I don't know what kind of film it would be, it'd just be a protective film, wouldn't it? I've never thought about doing it before. I've never considered, well, I've considered, I've built this before, cleaned up holes, but I've never considered wet and drying the entire, probably only need to do it for the hole. I've never considered wet and drying the entire hole, because I thought, well, it's plastic, it's fine, it will. But somewhere along the line, that's not going to be too much of a problem. Somewhere down the line, I had sort of read something something came up, and I was on Google somewhere, and somebody was discussing, I think air drying. I'm going to do air drying, painting. I don't do that, I don't like it. I haven't got the room in here. That window there, over there, you can't see because I'm going to put the camera up, leads out to the neighbours, so if I open the windows, I think I explained in a previous video, the fumes go out and go into my neighbours' rooms, so it's not possible to do it. Right, that looks a lot cleaner now. Well, that's because I zoomed in, of course. Right, that looks a lot better now. So that's nice. I've just got to get all the side bit done the same as that, of course. But you can see, as I say, you can see the difference there. That will now be cleaned up with some hot soapy, just a rag with some hot soapy water on. And that will be fine. Right, let me take this camera, try not to switch it off. Now, hello. Now let me see if I can, I'm going to switch this camera over now. I've got it there. I need to, I can't get that damn thing up. Oh, I can't move it. I can't do anything when I'm recording. Oh. Right, oh, that's really bugged me. Just bear with me. I was hoping I'd better switch the camera to the back camera. I can't do so for some reason. That'll probably, oh, that changes the colours. You see? So unfortunately I can't. That means I won't be able to get. Now that's a real bug. I was going to show you, see, because I've got her here. Now where am I? Say hello. This is Daisy. Say hello, my darling. Getting a bit old now, a bit grey. Hello. Say hello. And then over here we have Queen Mary and Titanic. I can't get used to. I've got to get used to how the camera works. So we've got the Queen Mary. I can't get it all in shot. And we've got the Titanic below it. And there's my other wooden models over here. So we've got a tugboat, a fishing boat, and a Mississippi River boat. I can't really do anything, unfortunately. Sorry about that, mateys. And then over here we have some wooden models over here as well. It's a Stevenson's rocket. It's not picking that up very well, is it? It's really bugged me, that. It's probably not come out very well. Oh, that's a shame. I expected to be able to move that.